those big expensive dinners seemed much less inviting than they used to be, because you never knew when you're going to have to get up to look after him. And he didn't sleep through till he was over a year old. I learned very quickly to sleep when he slept. I think that was the number one lesson I would take from it, is that you need to be adaptable. And I learned to sleep when he slept. So I took to the afternoon nap. Quite often we'd sleep on the sofa in the afternoon watching the footy. And yeah, so lots of life changes. But I'm not sure that overall it really changes your spending in total. I think it changes what you spend it on. And it's when they get older and you start thinking about school fees and daycare, that's when it really starts to crank up, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. You do become a lot more mindful. So I know it's scary looking at the costs, but you'll find ways. We might have to cut back in other areas. You probably won't even be eating out very much the first couple of weeks or months, going out, doing fun stuff, because you just don't have the time to spend any of that money. Yeah. We've got a few questions. So
do you want to talk about, Daniel mentions lots of things that I have no idea what they are. I know what an aromatherapy machine is, and they're great. I love them. I'm not quite sure what an electric candle is, or indeed a Thames machine, but I'm sure you guys know what it is.
Yeah, electric candles, I have not used that, so I can't comment, or the aromatherapy, but the Thames machine was actually quite interesting. You can basically rent them online, and what it is, it's like this machine. You can attach it to your spine, basically, and when you're going through labor, you hit the buzzer, and it will trigger a bit of electrical pulses, and it a little bit zaps you, but not super painful or anything, and you can crank up the intensity. So basically the idea is it's something to distract you when you're going through the labor pains. So instead of thinking about the contractions, you can zap yourself and you can think about that instead. I found it was quite helpful, especially before you go into full-blown labor. I guess my situation was a bit different because I had an induction. So I did have a natural birth, but they induced my labor with hormones and things like that. Because they were worried that Gia was a bit small. She is quite a small baby, so they were worried maybe she's too small, she won't handle the normal labor. So they did an induction for me. Yeah, and then there's also sometimes a bit of a lag, depending on if you want an epidural. I had an epidural. It was quite good, but there is, even if you do want one, you do have to wait quite a while until your labor progresses quite well, until they give you one. So it could be something to help distract you from the pain. But yeah, one of the things going through the process was you might have a birth plan, but sometimes not to scare you, but it can go out the window when you get there, because the doctors are okay, we can't do that. We have to do this. And you're okay, I guess that's that. Oh, interesting. Jade said, we're part of the midwife group program. Even if you're not an MGP or hospital birth suite, will provide a lot of those things. Oh, that's a really good point.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I know we had at least my wife had a plan to have a water birth, so that the birthing suite at Royal Prince Alfred, you could choose a water birth, and we had a doula rather than a midwife. I think there's some controversy about them today, and what's the doctor called? Obstetrician. The obstetrician didn't actually turn up till after he was born.
Oh, wow. Interesting. How was the water birth?
It was pretty good for the first 20 hours. It got a bit hairy after that. The drugs were wheeled in, and he was born at, I think, I'm going to say about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were home after breakfast. Alison was not staying in the hospital. Yeah, so we were home very shortly after breakfast. That's not a recommendation, peeps. It's just experience and possibly against my better judgment. But sometimes, some battles you should not attempt to fight, guys. And,